2, 1, 0. The vMix giveaway has ended. Woohoo! Okay.
Who's the lucky winner?
Who is the lucky winner? We have a bunch of people excited about this giveaway, and I'm excited for everybody to see who wins.
Ooh, we have to do the giveaway.
We have to do the giveaway, so thank you all for tuning in and waiting for the giveaway. It's time to do it.
Let's get the ball
And now it's time to announce this week's live technology giveaway winner. As noted in the contestant rules, all winners must be present in the chat room to claim the prize, or a new winner will be drawn. Drum roll, please.
So, box number 5 is now going to become this. This is where we're going to pull our winner here. I'm going to just zoom it in a hair just to make sure everyone can see. We're going to give every winner about, I don't know, how much time do we give them? Like 2 minutes to respond?
To allow for the lag.
And then we're going to get, oh my gosh, look what I just did.
What did you do?
I made it way too big. Never mind. Okay. Draw a winner.
Chat and I can read it. I'm excited. I'm nervous. Oh my gosh.
Ahasan Udin Russell.
Are you here?
He says, it's a great tool for vMix and NewTek. It's an open platform for live streaming. You must buy it. He's from Bangladesh, and he may be our next winner. So Casper, we didn't get a lot of chance to. We got you in the lightning round. We got to know you a little better. You seem like quite a programmer, huh?
I guess so.
With some fantastic glasses.
Is that
this is Casper rocking out.
Oh my goodness.
Oh yeah. How did you like it, Eric?
That's an example of how much you can take one of these control surfaces. That's a replay unit on there.
My gosh.
Yeah.
So can you tell us a little bit about how the company got started and what you're most passionate about and what's coming up next?
Yeah, I can. It got started because me and some friends from the Technical University of Denmark did e-learning video production and began to, because we are programmers and electronic freaks, we began to develop control solutions ourselves to automate the production. And this is before we had a lot of computer-centric production systems. Actually, back then, I tried, it wasn't vMix, I tried stuff like Wirecast, but 10 years ago, it was no good for quality video. So we got into a lot of hardware, and 5 years ago, we started our company, and then we just went on from there, having been making control services all these years. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, well, we've got a couple more questions for you, but Hassan is not here, and we gave him plenty of time. So now it is time to re-pick the winner.
I see a girl.
Tom Eagle. Tom Eagle from Kansas City, Missouri.
Tom Eagle, are you here?
Now there's a little bit of a latency. Dr. Tom Eagle. All right, Bruce, I want to take you on camera with your Batman shot. Just kidding. But Bruce, you've seen it all. You've been around forever. What are you excited about for NAB this year?
Thanks. What am I looking for specifically?
Are you looking for something? Are you excited about anything? I mean, you love IBC. Well, NAB's a little different.
Yeah, NAB is it's almost a necessity in our business. There are a lot of manufacturers that we are familiar with, and they always have changes. NAB is our first chance to see them, or IBC in Amsterdam. But there's often little upcoming companies that have new inventions and new ways of doing things, and those guys are usually in the lower halls. But it's really fascinating to see what minds come up with, what the new technology that's emerging, and that's a chance for us to find people that maybe don't have a big marketing department, don't have money, they're just starting out, but they have a really good idea.
Right.
And that's a great place to find people like that. Of course, as a lot of us in this industry, we go to NAB a lot. It's really nice to see some of our friends. A lot of business colleagues. You become friends. You start dealing with people, and after a while, they're your friends. They're not just business contacts. So it's nice to see. It's nice to see people every year. Maybe grab a dinner or a coffee and chat and catch up. It gets a little weird after you start doing 15 or 20 of them. But
no, I will agree with you. That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, there's always that opportunity to find something new and exciting that hasn't been thought of before. So I think it's a very good thing to take part in. And for people that can't go every year, at least go once for the experience. Yeah. It's phenomenal. Things that you're interested in, you can get in one-on-one with the people that are involved with the development and ask them specific questions and get a close-up demo. It's worth going. I mean, it's one of those things where, I didn't for a number of years, and once I started, now it's every year. I got to go back. And we get to meet our people that we work with, and that's a lot of fun sometimes.
No Tom Eagle?
I don't believe so.
All right, we're going to go ahead and repick the winner. Bruce, I can't agree with you more.
They're suggesting that we pick only from participants in the chat.
Rudy Engels. I think I saw Rudy here. Rudy Engels. Well, we have to do it randomly.
In our Huddle Cam show.
So I know. I think Rudy's here.
Aren't there 1,600 participants?
There's a lot of
like
participants. So, but it has to be done randomly.
And
Eric, let me ask you now, and they have to be here. Eric, you've been going to NAB many a times. You're well known there. What are you excited about this year?
Well, as my lower third says, I work for U.S. Broadcast, and as a distributor, trade shows are great because we get to get all of them together under one roof or several roofs, as NAB is. So we have 7 distributors with booths there this year. So I'm excited from the standpoint that all of our vendors will have exposure to customers, but I'm also nervous because it means that we need to cover so many valuable vendors. But every NAB is great, and I'll let you guys get to Rudy.
Okay, no, that's great because Rudy, you have won, and we're so happy that you won, Rudy.
I'm always curious.
Congratulations, Rudy, you win. We will be contacting you soon with all the information that you need to get up and running. So now keep going, Eric. We have a winner. So
yep. Okay. So this will be my 21st NAB. So I've seen a lot of
21st.
Are you serious?
I know. I don't look that old, but I started going at a relatively young age.
You're like an OJ.
So a lot of things have changed over the years, but the excitement of the show itself, what Bruce was saying in terms of people releasing new products there, it is definitely a cyclical thing in that manufacturers tend to save up some of their best things coming up to release at NAB. So there's definitely a lot of good stuff. And also, like Bruce was saying, it's a great way to find little companies that don't have the marketing budget to necessarily penetrate your magazines. You're not going to see them really anywhere else. Perhaps they are from another continent. One of the companies that we're representing, well, most of the companies that we're representing this year are from other continents. QuickLink, they do a Skype TX box for doing communication via Skype. It's NDI compatible, so you can use it to feed vMix. Hollyland is a wireless transmitter company that make a product like Teradek, but it's much more cost effective. vMix, of course, is from Australia, so they'll be there. They have a really great spot this year, right in the middle of the sort of upper level of South Lower. They're right next to NewTek this year, so it'll let people more easily compare the two products. So that'll be super interesting. And I will probably spend most of the show physically located right between the two booths where the QuickLink booth is.
Well, speaking of all of that, let's go down to the South Lower Hall, which is where most of these places are. So this is kind of like the main hub here, Blackmagic. You walk in, here's Telestream, Wirecast there, Akamai, and then there's vMix. So as you're walking down, this is kind of, like you said, the upper part of South Lower because there's steps over here. I want to get into the upper part, but they never let me in.
Aw, maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Here's NewTek. Blackmagic has another booth. Look how big their booth is. They got another one over here.
Oh my gosh. They have a giant
I wanted
booth.
to get... This booth is still open. I wanted to move here because here's Skaarhoj right here. There's your booth, Casper.
Yeah.
There's your itty bitty booth. Just kidding.
Exactly.
We had a small booth like that a couple years ago. That's what happened. And our booth is over here. PTZOptics. I want to maybe move to that
Hover
one.
over it, and I'll put down our SL14205.
14205. This one is like the same thing, and it's closer. Even this one. I gotta talk to them. I might be able to move up a little bit because I want to get closer to the action, but they've been moving things around and things happen. But anyway.
Dave says they'll let you in on the top if you bring me.
So let's bring it back to you, Bruce. You know, tell us a little bit more about NewTek, because I know that's something that interests me very much. They have a big party, don't they, the day before?
Well, we have a number of training sessions and dealer meetings. Like a lot of companies, a lot of manufacturers will do that. We have an awful lot to go to. But you know, NewTek is a very unique company. It's still privately owned. It's always been kind of based on the needs of the customers, not so much the needs of the company itself. So it's very unique that way. It's always been a groundbreaking thing. Tim Jennison is a super unique kind of guy, and he's got a super unique kind of company. It's always been our core product at VideoLink. So we're 30 years old now. We've been in this industry a long time. We've seen a lot of changes, and they've always been our core. They've always provided us with new developments, new systems, new way of looking at things, new solutions, and of course now they've provided our industry with NDI, which, you know, it is a game changer, and they have provided it to not only our industry, but their competitors for no charge. And what it does is it really ties us all together in a way that we've never been able to do before. It really opens up a lot of doors and a lot of opportunities for people. It simplifies a lot of systems. Phenomenal. Dr. Andrew Cross is just genius. He's a super nice guy, and he's super smart, and I think it's a really brilliant marketing move to bring that out and to provide not only the codecs but the development kit to anybody that wants to be involved in integrating it into their manufacturing development. So, you know, that's huge. That's never really been done before, and that's NewTek style. They do things that no one's ever done before, and they continue to do it. So you know, again, part of it is the tech, because I'm a geek. Part of it is the people behind it are just genuine people. They're not. It's not. There's some companies we deal with that are a big corporate company, and they act like a big corporate company, and they do things like a big corporate company does. NewTek's a little bit different because they take feedback from people. What do you want to see us do? What do you want in this system? And that we'll put that in our systems. So a lot of companies, they put out what they want to put out. NewTek puts out what the people want put out. And that's extremely unique. And we love them for that. And And now, of course, with vMix, we're able to tie it together. We're able to tie this whole NDI thing is just magic. I mean, it's amazing. You know, I set up this system in my studio, and I was dreading going into my router and setting DMZs and doing port changes and all that. I didn't have to do anything. I plugged it all in. It all saw each other. Everything saw everything. I was like, this is like magic. It's amazing.
I know.
So
I love it. There was little hiccups in the beginning, but it's really rock solid now.
There's always going to be a little bit of working things out when you're doing system integration from different manufacturers. That's going to happen. But very quickly, it was all straightened out. And you know, for most of it, it's a very simple way to expand on what we have. And I was very impressed with it. We're still educating people on, you know, people see IP and they're like, I don't want to deal with that. I'm an AV guy. And I'm like, it's not like that. It'll actually help you evolve and combine AV and IT. So really, that's the whole idea behind it. And it opens up so many doors for so many people.
Well, I'd like to bring it into Eric now. And Eric, can you give us a little peek at vMix as a company? Now we're looking at a company much smaller. But sometimes when you're smaller, you're faster to react and move. Give us your kind of take on, you know, where vMix is taking the world and how they kind of, their worldview coming from Australia.
So much to the surprise of everyone, vMix elected a new CEO today. If you look at the press release, you'll see that they nominated a banana to run the company. But as it turns out, it was an April Fool's joke. So turns out Martin's still going to be at the helm. And so Martin
because it's April 1st in Australia right now. Is that why?
Yep. Timing's everything. So Martin is both the chief designer of vMix and the CEO. So the company has a very focused direction. Their stated intent is that they're going to focus on the software and developing it to continue to develop it for to keep it state of the art, so to speak. Adding the WebRTC vMix call functionality is in line with that goal. I don't have any insight to share on where they're going next, but it is really nice to see a company so open with their standards. You know, they work with NDI, they work with MIDI, they've been working very well with Casper. They're working on trying to integrate, get further integration of control surfaces. So they've been doing a really amazing job, and they're a very small company. But that means they're very nimble, and as you can see, they've got a really great, fairly large booth. So they're not a small company in terms of capital investment. It takes a lot of financial ability to put on a booth that large at NAB. They're just small in terms of numbers, and I think they're very comfortable currently at the size that they're at. So hopefully, moving forward, we can hope to see new features from them and a continuation of their development.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because, sometimes, the bigger companies get the advantage because they have more employees, more resources, more brains at work. Mm-hmm. Somehow vMix seems to have like one engineer, maybe two, I don't know, or three. I don't know how many they have, but
one. But let me point something out. Martin he's an exceptional guy. He's very, clearly he's very smart because he's able to write vMix, which is an equivalent to products like NewTek, Livestream, and Wirecast, who each have an engineering department ranging from 10 to 50 people, just programmers. So his ability to both run a company and develop software which is of the same caliber as these others really means that he's able to do quite an amazing job. Is all I can say.
Well, one thing I just wanted to briefly mention is that I want to apologize to Tom Eagle. We called his name and he didn't respond fast enough. We usually give about 2 to 3 minutes in between, and we have, because it's a live show, we can't wait forever. So Rudy, you have won. Congratulations. We do it the same way every week, and we try to make it as fair as possible and as a random pick. It's a completely random thing. The only thing that's not random is whether or not you're in the chat room to claim it within that rough, at least a minute or two time frame. So thank you so much, Eric. Kind of closing remarks here. I have been so impressed. And one of the things I always say, because I just had actually an interview, a little phone call with the CEO of Zoom video conferencing. Okay, I used to work with them when they first launched in 2014. They had 2 salespeople and a couple engineers. They're worth $1 billion today. They got $100 million worth of investment on a 10% valuation, 10% of the company, making them $1 billion company. I knew this guy. We were selling Zoom licenses and everything, 4 or 5 years ago. He's a billionaire now. I mean, he owns $1 billion company. I could see that happening to vMix because of how explosive the live streaming market is. I don't know how now that's a big number. And Zoom video conferencing is a completely different company in Silicon Valley where they have that kind of money to throw at companies. And I'm sure he's getting offers all the time because who wouldn't give him $1 million for that software? Who knows? But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there because one of the conversations we had last time with Tom Sinclair is the really, really innovative companies, they're always in front of the curve because you realize something, you take that first step, and then you realize, oh, well, if I can do vMix call, then I can do the Brady Bunch and I can do 9 people. And if I can do 9 people, then I can do 10 inputs or however it goes. Like we do it too. And Bruce, I know you've been in development and you realize how these things work. Like we released a USB to air wireless USB device. And we're like, okay, that's great. Can it do wireless RS-232? Oh, can we make a wireless joystick? Oh, and then you just keep on kind of going down the path. So if Martin continues to stay on the forefront, he may continually be years ahead of the industry, which would it wouldn't surprise me from what I've seen so far. Casper, I want to give you one last chance to kind of give us your take on the live streaming industry.
Oh, yeah, that's a good question. I think you caught me by surprise there because I don't have any personal opinions about where this industry is going. In many ways, I'm just providing control panels for it, but yeah. So being in the helicopter and looking at it from above, I don't really know what I want to express about that. Yeah, sorry.
Well, I like your thought process being in that helicopter above. If that's where you hang out, that's a good place to be. I am very interested to see your products. Everyone says they're amazing. I've never seen them, so I'm very excited to see them at NAB. And I want to thank everyone who watched the live show today. We had over 130 people watching.
Yes, we did.
That's almost a record.
Yes, we
it's
had
close, but I don't
lot
think
for the
Wirecast gear giveaway.
Yeah.
It was I think we had 200 something.
Yeah, we had fun.
And Tom, it is true. Last thing I'll just say, Tom, it is true that 225 is when the giveaway was finished. That's true. That's when we start pulling names. But you still have to be there in the chat room to claim the prize. So I know it's some people get a little bitter if they're here. But anywho, it does.
You should give them a control surface.
Yeah, we should give away a control surface maybe next week.
Give them the RS-232.
But it's true.
I think I already
was all very
committed to offering
laid out.
NAB.
The contest always closes either at 220 or 225. We did 225. Has to have an ending.
End cap.
You can enter all the way up to 225, and then you have to be there in the chat room when we call your name. That's the way it works. So thank you so much, you guys. You guys came in clutch.
Yes.
We had Mario Armstrong cancel on us within 24 hours notice, which, hey, you got to do what you got to do, but then we bring in the big guns, We're going to have...
I'm always happy to be on your show, Paul.
Thank you, Eric.
Aww.
We're going to have to have you...
And Tess.
Nice to meet you. Somebody said you look like Iron Man in the chat.
Yeah. No.
You're getting
I'm not
some
seeing it.
major
Brendan
doppelgangers today.
Fraser. I get Brendan Fraser occasionally.
Brendan Fraser. Okay.
Yeah. I've
You need
got
a close up on your eyes.
No closer on my eyes.
He's doing it. Crystal blues.
Look at those eyes.
Oh my gosh, things always end up getting weird on
All
the
right,
show.
that's where we're gonna cut it. Bye,
right.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
That was a fun
And
show.
that's all, folks. We appreciate your participation in the chat room and can't wait to host our next informative Q&A session. Your questions drive the conversation forward for live streaming professionals around the world. Until next time, happy streaming.
Now, Tom's
Okay, that's it. Oh my gosh, we got one dislike. I wonder who that was.
It was obviously.